Last night's normal monster support has actually given us something to talk about, and yes, this is another pickups video. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So we get to actually talk about Doko Yorba Yaiba. And for those of you that don't know what the heck this thing is started by listing on Japanese websites, the stores, for $1 a piece. Now you're probably like, well, okay, Robbie, like, are we talking about, a Fire Fiend monster? Well, first of all, this is the only Fire Fiend monster and that is like in the game, first of all. So the normal monster support allows you to bring this on out, and then you can do full Fiendsmith combo. I just want to point that out. You're looking at the original light stuff, and then you're like, well, in order to do full Fiendsmith combo, you need a light Fiend monster. Yes. That is in fact true, but with the interaction on the normal monster support, this is a Fire Fiend monster. So you can banish it from the graveyard to interrupt your opponent through their fire monsters. That's what you're playing this for. You're playing it for the Fiend interactions, and you're also playing it because it's a fire attribute. Boom. Full combo. This thing does have 3 printings in the US. The one that I personally think is the one to have a single... I would pick up maybe a playset of these. I don't know. If I'm watching the Japanese side of this speculate on this card, I'm intrigued by it, but we also have a speed duel print of this, which you already know. If it's a speed duel version, it's going to be looked at by maybe the highest rarity version of the card available. So we'll have to wait and see. There's going to be so many normal monsters to consider out here, but I think this is the one that has the biggest rippling effects out of, just the dual-sided synergy. If you were choosing to actually play this, what a time to be a duelist. So, Punishment Dragon or not the Punishment Dragon? So, Punishment Dragon did not get a reprint. I know, I'm still as perplexed about this as most of you are. I had 15 copies of it, and I all dumped them because I was like, Konami's gonna reprint this. There's absolutely no reason for them not to do it, and lo and behold, they didn't. So I don't see another window for them reprinting this in the next couple of months unless they drop it in the 10s. And that's kind of bad. If you were a Lightsworn player, having a $20 card be paywalled, not exactly on any of our agendas to want to see this. So I don't know what to tell you here. I guess if you've been wanting to play Lightsworn, I guess you got to bite the bullet and spend the $20 to pick this up. But on the flip side of the equation, that's $20 that you got to spend on a card that should be worth like 50 cents, in my personal opinion. Judgment Dragon has been printed into oblivion. I'm very perplexed to see why we have dodged Punishment Dragon's reprint so much up to this point. But I guess this is a guaranteed sign to at least, you always have the card available to you as an ultra rare. So it could have been a quarter century, could have been anything other in another high rarity, but no. Punishment Dragon is going to just be locked behind that boring one print for a while. I'm also surprised they didn't OTS this thing. Like, this would have made a cooler OTS Ultimate than Diviner of the Herald. Osteonato. So, for those of you that also paid attention to this, where's the Super Osteonato print that everybody was... base Osteonatos are like $5 a piece. All right, for a common that just didn't get reprinted in this battle set. And once again, I look around, I'm like, why was Osteonato not upgraded? Why did we not... Are we going to have to wait till October to get a Super Osteonato in the next OTS pack? Is that what we're dealing with? Well, for now, if you want to play Melodious, the entire deck is, honestly, budget. Except for First Movement Solo, which also didn't get reprinted, that we all thought was going to happen. And Osteonato is now paywalled. So now you have to pick up these 2 cards just to be able to play this. And by the time we actually get reprints for these, I think it'll be too late to play anything Melodious. It's already kind of grim if you're choosing to play the deck all the way back here now. But I guess the cool part about all of this is at least you're guaranteed for some sort of value for the next month or so, in my personal opinion, for what's to kind of come. So we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, That's what we're looking at right now. It's the things that we expected to be on the reprint ladder were not. So now you got to ask yourself, well, do I pick them up now if I plan on playing this? Ugh, Elder. Oh my gosh. So you heard me on the video earlier today talking about the misses of this latest battle set. And why in the world was Elder not reprinted in here? Konami inadvertently made Elder a $17 secret rare. And to be fair, I think Elder, why was Elder not reprinted? Like, a Punishment Dragon, Ostinato, and Elder should have all been available cheaper to the community, because these cards have zero business being these crazy values. But Konami's, I guess, logic at this point is, well, if you really want to play these new support cards, I hope you picked up your old support there over there, lad, just so you can play it. It's like, like if you picked up a Ritual Beast Core for $10 years ago, you're winning so much out here just to be able to play this. Think about that. A $10 investment's now worth $60 just on 3 Elders. Like, isn't that crazy? But is it worth it to pick it up? I mean, do you want to play Ritual Beast? Like, that's your trade-off right now. Like, I can't help you make that decision. The only reprint window for this stuff is 10s. Until, like, next OTS packs in October. We have a couple of unknown sets along the way, but, it's bad. And then, of course, Ice Barrier stuff. Now, this one's not so much a crazy thing, but if you can still find Ice Barrier structure decks out there in the wilds of the, the Walmart shelves, or maybe your locals has these. Revealer went up to $5. Actually, Speaker was another one that went up. A lot of the Ice Barrier stuff, the Trishula didn't get reprinted in there either. What we're kind of looking at right now is, some actual cool value in the structure deck. And if you want to play anything Ice Barriers, you got to go pick these cards up, because, we chose to reprint the Ultra Rares from the structure deck, except for the cards that were relevant to this, which just means that you got to go out, you got to try to pick up these old structure decks. I don't know who designed this battle set, but you just punted this so hard. There were so many key cards that shouldn't be worth money right now that you're like, these can be worth something, and you just fumbled this so hard. The Ice Barrier structure deck, I think, is the least damaging thing out of all of this, because your structure deck was worth butt anyway, so actually kind of having this be a little bit more in terms of value, I guess, is something. So, yeah, how many of those Ice Barrier cards from that structure deck are you probably going to need? What, like 5, 6? I guess spending $15 to $20 for 5, 6 cards isn't the worst thing in the world to pick up Ice Barrier cards. And then I want to talk about the Ultimate Exodia head. So this is an interesting debate. Personally, I don't think the card looks that good. But if this card's going to hit, the Armed Dragon level 10 price out here, and going to be a $5, $6 card in the long term, obviously not on initial release. This thing's going to be, every OTS pack that has, its initial release, everything is super inflated. It's always the same thing, people look at it and they're like, oh, there's just so much money. Yeah, it is. But I think for the long term, looking at the value of the Exodia head as a cheap card to just have and add to your collection, I think is possibly worth it. And we'll once again, we'll have to wait and see. But having a classic style Exodia piece to add to your collection long term, whether or not maybe you pull it off of your entry pack, you see that, the card hits $5, $10 later on in its life, and you're like, hey, we'll pick this up and add this to the collection as a long-term piece. Obviously, you're going to want the swirl one, not the blob print that most of these OTS cards seem to suffer. I love the fact we have dual prints out here for these sorts of cards. You have one good print, and you have the blob print for whatever reason that they're just like, hey, we're going to go ahead and I hope you guys enjoy the blob. And it's just like, it's so minus. But, it is a collector's piece to add in the modern era, and it'll be very, very cheap. So we'll take that. So outside of that, a lot of things to look at here for short, long term. I know it's a terrible phrase to say, but at least for the next 2 to 3 months, if you're looking at playing, Yeah. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.